Hello, this is a demand characteristics video for research methods. If I can just remind you as you listen to this video to write the Cornell notes as best you can and also answer the questions that I'll ask as we go through the video. Once you've finished, write this up as neatly as you can into your mind map and have a little look through some of the additional textbooks. Okay, so as we think about demand characteristics, what we really need to consider is what it's like being a participant in an experiment or an observation or an interview. You probably come somewhere quite new, you've met someone new, the researcher, maybe you quite like them, they're an interesting person, you kind of get along with them. There's kind of a pressure to kind of do what's expected. And the brain will automatically just start to try and work out what's going on in this novel situation. So if you get them to do a small activity or you ask them a few questions, the brain is going to try and figure out, okay, well, what does this ultimately mean? And once they figured that out, once they figured out an aim, they can then adapt their behavior in order, generally it's in a nice way to try and help you out. They know you're a researcher, they know you're trying to find something's true about the world, and they think maybe it's helpful to adapt their behavior a little bit to give you the results they want. That's really, though, not what we're after. Okay, so in an experiment, your participants, they're often unsure about what to do. They're going to look around for clues, see what's expected of them. These clues are the demand characteristics. So by guessing the aims of the experiment, the participants in a strange situation then. They've guessed the aims of the experiment, or at least they think they've guessed the aims of the experiment, and now they either respond naturally, which I guess is pretty hard to do once you've figured out what the aims are, or they respond in a way which they think you expect them to respond, or they respond in the opposite way to kind of hinder your research. So if demand characteristics come into play, then what you're doing is you're actually measuring the effect of the demand characteristic. You're not measuring the fact of whatever independent variable that you've set up on the dependent variable. Okay, so how do we get around this problem of demand characteristics? Well, ultimately we need to use a little bit of deception. We need to maybe not be fully forthcoming with what the study's about when they come and sit down to take part. So we can have a single blind. This is where the participant comes in and they don't know the true aims of the experiment. We keep that on hold and we tell them after they've done it. This can still be a problem though, because demand characteristics can come out even if the participant isn't told explicitly what the experiment's about. Maybe it could come across through the body language of the researcher. Quite often, it's quite important that the researcher gets the results that they want. There might be a lot of pressure on them from an academic point of view to make sure they see an effect, and kind of unconsciously they can start to give away clues about what they want to find just through their body language. So a more effective way might be for that researcher to take a back seat and to give a set of instructions to somebody who doesn't really know what the experiment's about, another researcher, to then carry out this study. That would mean that they shouldn't be able to give away what they want from body language, because they wouldn't know either. So a double blind is when both participant and the experimenter don't know the aims of the study. Okay, that's simply it.